Okay, so here we are with video number 3. I would just like to start this video by adding on from video number 2 something quite important that I missed out in the video number 2, the adding the salt section, the series of videos. Yeah, the last video, video number 2, was about mixing and adding your salt. I did not mention this, and this is very important. Some people might already have the cooler set up at the end of video 1, start of video number 2. No, don't do it, because when you actually read up on these salts and adding them to the water, the salt readings for the hydrometer are based on your water temperature being standard, like in room temperature. So don't add the cooler yet. Wait until you have the correct salt reading without the cooler, and yeah, so get your reading correct with the tank just at room temperature before moving on to the next stage, which I'll explain now in the video. So yeah, so the water's been conditioned, it's been added to the tank, you've circulated that, you've added your salt, you've circulated that, you took some salt readings, they're bang on, you're happy. Okay, next stage is water temperature. Water temperature is done with your beer cooler. Now I've got two different beer coolers here. This is the one which is actually running on the tank now, which is a single line inline beer cooler, one product beer cooler. So basically what you have your reservoir at the top, which you just fill with tap water. That is circulated in and out through this pipe here. Now, if you look at this one, this is a 2-product beer cooler. That is the in and out pipe for the reservoir there. And this does 2 products, so it's got 2 ins and it's got 2 outs. Anyway, we'll go back to the one that's set up on the tank. So you've got your in and your out. Your in is obviously drawn up from your pump, which is down there. 10 quid that costs, 1200 litres an hour pump off eBay, just short of a tenner. That's drawing the water into the cooler and then back out into the tank. Simple. Now, sometimes that might not be enough to get your temperature right, so you may find that you want to try and get it a bit colder. And to do that, you come back to this, you want a 2-product cooler. So basically, instead of 1 coil cooling the water, this one has 2. So you've got 2 ins and 2 outs, and the way this works is you send your water in to your first in, it comes out of your first out, and then back in to your second in and out of your second out into the tank. So you're just basically adding another cycle onto what this setup is here. I've found that for my setup here, this tank's just short of 4 foot square, 4 foot to 4 foot, just under that, with 240 litres in, and this single line cooler is sufficient. Temperature, what we at the minute? 7.5. Yeah, it could do with being 7 really, but it's been quite humid today. But yeah, I'm happy with that. So yeah, so adding your cooler, that's the next stage. Quite easy really. This cooler that you're looking at here, this was local, bought from just down the road via eBay. You know, just looked on eBay and found a cooler local, paid about £50 for it and went and collected it. This one was, believe it or not, this is a bigger and better cooler. This was actually cheaper, but this was from way away, so it ended up being a bit dearer with the courier cost. This one was off eBay, one at about 32 quid, and then it was about another 30, 40 quid for a courier to deliver it. Total cost at about 60, 65 quid to get that here. I've actually had this all up and working. It's, you know, it's a good bit of kit. It probably makes a difference of probably 3 degrees to the single line, which in this instinct of what I'm getting out of this single line cooler, it's not really necessary. The only way that I'd switch from the single line to the twin line would be maybe next year adding another tank and running 2 tanks off the same cooler. I'd probably need to use the twin line cooler. So yeah, anyway, that's the next stage. Get your cooler all set up, plug it in, fill your reservoir, get it all piped up to your pump. If you need any information on pumps, give me a shout on Facebook or give us an email. What you've got to remember when it comes to things like pumps and filters and air pumps, if you've got a tank that's 500 litres, you want to be looking at something that's capable of doing 2 to 3 times that to get a good return on what you're trying to do. So that pump down there is 1200 litres an hour. Even though I've only got 240 litres in the tank, I know that it's going to be more than sufficient for what it needs to do. Again, if you need information on pumps, what pumps to buy, this is the pump that I got. As I mentioned, just under a tenner off eBay. Any pump will do. One thing you need to consider is the piece that you're connecting your pipe to that will go up to the cooler. You need to make sure that the pipe that you're using from here up to the cooler fits onto this nozzle here, and obviously fits to your fitting that's going to your cooler. That's quite important. Make sure you bear that in mind when you're picking a pump. Okay, so that's video number 3, adding the cooler. Any details or information you need on coolers, what to get, where to get them from, what do they cost. I've tried to cover it as best I can in this video. If there's anything else I've not covered, just give me a shout and I'll be happy to help you out on that. Again, also, if you need information on these fittings and pipes that are used, these are just what plumbers use. John Guest fittings and John Guest pipe. Quite easy to get hold of from DIY shops, builder supplies, places like that, Savoy Timbers, anywhere like that sells plumbing accessories. And again, you need any information or help on what's needed there, give me a shout. Okay, so this is video number 3. It's getting late now. Could do with a coffee and a chill out. We'll call it a night, and I'll do video number 4 first thing in the morning. All the best, people.